Jeez, you guys sneaking out on me like that. Do you guys have a problem with your serve? You don't get enough RPM on it? Do you have that problem? Okay, well, sit down here, sit down in front of me, and we're gonna show you something real cool today. So, we're gonna show you how to increase your RPM from 1500 to about 4,500, 5,000 RPM with our new software. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here is Sergey Bella from Blakeney Racket and Swim Club, and with Time Valve Tennis. Today we're gonna look at kick serve, and we're gonna give you a couple of tips. They're gonna help you so much to improve your serve. You're gonna really increase the RPM, rotation per minute, from 1500, 2000, whatever you have at the moment. You're gonna double it after this video. So we're gonna focus on main things. First one is point of contact, pronation. Then we have toss, grip, positioning, shoulder rotation, and movement of the racket. Those things will certainly help you out. So first we're going to look at the side view, and we're going to look at the serve here in front of you in a slow motion. Let's look at the first part of it. Just check out the whole serve. You will see the motion itself. Kind of losing the toss a little bit, but you can see it's quite high in the point of contact. Alright, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna track back right here and start with the toss. There are different ways to toss the ball, the way you hold it, and you can see at this time I actually have two balls in my hand, and even if I didn't have the second ball, I would probably hold the ball with three fingers, maybe four on the tip of the fingers. It's easier to control the toss that way. Some people, if you watch Federer, for example, he almost tosses the ball like a can of Coke. He just holds it on the side. Now I'm pointing straight up, so it's up to you. Either way, it will be a pretty consistent toss. After I release the ball, you can see my hand, this hand right here, turns a little bit. So you can see that hand is gonna keep turning and opening up. And you're gonna ask me, why would I do that, right? So the thing is, as soon as you have that rotation of your hand right there, it locks your shoulders in this sideways position. Because if you don't, a lot of people, they just toss the ball up and they don't rotate their hand. What happens is, you basically give yourself a chance to start moving your shoulders. Your muscles more flexible. You start moving your shoulders, so you could open up before you swing at the ball. This movement, if you check Roger Federer, Djokovic, a lot of players, they do this movement they holds them sideways. They locks their shoulders where they cannot over rotate before they hit. Now we're gonna look at how we load. Right? Look at this. Getting down, right? I'm keeping about 90-degree angle. As you can see right there, it's of the shoulder. That's how we're gonna keep that angle very nicely. Trophy position, right? And you can see the racket comes up from the side. So my wrist, right here, if you pay attention to this part right here, that's how you bring it up. It sort of looks like as you would bring a football. The same movement. Look, I'm bringing it up. Stays on the side. A lot of players, they drop their racket back at this point. You see right here, their racket would be right in that position, falling back. Now it stays sideways. Now look at that drop of the forearm back. That gives you a great angle to come up on the ball. Watch this, how the racket is pointing up. Look at that. Now we get an angle about 180 degrees or whatnot. Now the racket is coming up, and here's the point of contact. Right there. Perfect align right in front. Right in front, right here. Excellent. Now some people could say you could toss the ball a little bit back here somewhere behind you or right over your head. Now Yes, you will generate more topspin. However, if you do that, you will lose a lot of power. So for a level of 5.5 or 6.0, you obviously want to keep the toss similar to your flat and slice serve, because you want to keep generating the toss, and plus you want to make sure your opponents don't see where you will be serving. So that's a very important part. Now, after the point of contact, here's the pronation. Pay attention. Look at that. Look at that pronation right there. As you can see, right here, this part. Look how the racket pronates and turns all the way around. Look at that. You can see the face of the racket turning. Now I'm coming off the ground. You see how I jump, and obviously you can probably jump higher. Also, if we look back, you can make the load a little bit more. You can even bend in your back a little bit more right here, and you can generate more kick by doing that. Alright, now we're gonna look from the back. You can see where the toss is going, and the point of contact and the pronation, how it looks from behind. Now again, we're gonna focus on position, shoulder rotation, movement of the racket as well on this one, and see what happens. Nice. Look at that serve. It was pretty good amount of topspin on it. Let's check something in a slow motion here. We're gonna track back a little bit. Right there. Let's see this serve right here. And watch the toss, the positioning sideways. And obviously there's few things could be different. For example, some people like to slide their right foot or bring it forward with the step, which is totally fine. But I hold my feet in the same place. I don't bring them forward, which is also fine. And you can see that kick coming up probably about 6 feet up. Usually I can bring it up probably about head level of some of my opponents. We'll stop right here for a second. So let's track back again, and I'm gonna point out a couple of things that can certainly help you out. So look, the toss itself, you can see the toss moves a little bit from the right to the left. You can see it comes up and it keeps curving just slightly. So it goes from this point and goes like that a little bit. Why would you do that? It's gonna give you a chance to engage your shoulder rotation. Alright, so your shoulder is gonna have this kind of rotation here. Watch this. Boom, you see how that rotation helps you to generate the kick. Your racket drop. Watch again from here. Look at that racket drop. You're gonna get that snap right there, and then the racket start. You see your arms, forearms start pronating, coming up, point of contact, dead center right there, which is one of the most important part. Here's a lot of beginners have a problem when they try to do kick serve. That's the point of contact. They actually meet the ball a little bit on top of their racket instead of dead center, and that's why it makes their racket open up a little bit and miss wide. Now look at that pronation. Look how the racket turns around. I'm off the ground, coming down. My right foot kicks back, and I'm letting it side of the court in order to generate that topspin. The movement of the racket, let's pay attention to it. Let's see how your racket comes up, and this is where we meet the ball. And you can see on the kick serve there's a slight difference between kick and other serves. You can see how the racket, you meet the ball with a little bit of an angle. After that, the motion goes up and out. I'll show you. So the motion goes like this to the side. Watch this. and it turns. That's what generates the most amount of spin. Now the racket head speed, if we put numbers on it, let's say from this point on, right here, it will be 10 miles an hour. Then as we bring it up and increase it to 20, 30, 35, 40, 50, and right here, right before you're about to hit the ball, the racket head speed could increase to 80 to 90 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour, whatnot. You're gonna bring it down. Now another very important aspect is watching the ball. The eyes right here, when you're hitting it, your head has to look up at the ball. You gotta make sure you're watching it, and as the ball leaves your racket, then you can take your eyes off the ball. So let's review again. Point of contact, pronation, toss itself. How do you toss the ball? Now the grip, for the best grip for kick serve is towards your one-handed backhand, right? So you're gonna turn your racket, you're gonna get it automatically spin just the way you hold the racket. Now positioning, you gotta be sideways. Make sure as you bring up, you kick back with your right foot. Do not overturn when you swing at the ball. Shoulder rotation into the ball generates tremendous amount of topspin, and movement of the racket up and out that generates the kick that's gonna move the ball to the side of the court. If you like our videos, please like and subscribe under the link below. And also, if you're looking to get new equipment and you like the stuff that we're using, you can also look on our Amazon link and just check it out. If you like it, just take it.